Men over 50 do these 5 exercises every day, and your energy will skyrocket, life-changing. Most advice aimed at men over 50 was never designed for men over 50. It was designed for general adults, then handed down without adjustment. That gap matters. Your body at this stage doesn't respond to stimulus the way it did at 30. So today, we're not covering 5 exercises the usual way. We're covering the research behind why they work, and why 2 pieces of advice you've probably followed for years are quietly working against you. 2 claims, 2 corrections, 1 unifying reason behind both. Let's get into it. Point 1, common advice. Cardio is the foundation of a healthy heart and a lean body. For decades, this has been the default prescription. Walk more, run more, get on the bike, burn calories, protect your heart, stay lean, and at 40, that logic mostly holds. The researched reality. After 50, muscle mass becomes one of the strongest predictors of long-term health, not just mobility, but metabolic regulation, insulin sensitivity, and even cardiovascular resilience. Aging research consistently shows a natural, progressive loss of muscle tissue that accelerates with age, a process researchers call sarcopenia. Cardio alone does little to slow it. In some cases, excessive cardio without resistance work can contribute to muscle loss, particularly when recovery and nutrition aren't adequate. This doesn't mean cardio is wrong. It means cardio without resistance training is an incomplete strategy for this decade of life. The heart still benefits from movement, but the muscle tissue that regulates blood sugar, supports joints, and keeps your metabolism active needs a different kind of signal. It needs load. That's the first correction. Resistance training isn't optional cross-training anymore. Past 50, it becomes a primary lever for protecting muscle and physical function. Point 2, common advice, eat less to manage your weight. This is the advice almost everyone has internalized. Fewer calories in, less weight on the scale, simple math, repeated everywhere. The researched reality. For men over 50, the body becomes less efficient at using protein to build and repair muscle, a phenomenon researchers refer to as anabolic resistance. In practice, this means the same amount of protein that maintained your muscle at 35 may not be enough at 55. If calorie restriction is applied without deliberately maintaining adequate protein intake, the body doesn't just lose fat. It can also lose muscle, the very tissue you need to protect. The researched approach flips the emphasis. Prioritize adequate protein first, and let total calories follow. Spreading meaningful amounts of protein across 3 or 4 meals rather than backloading most of it at dinner may better support muscle maintenance at this stage of life. The goal isn't simply eating less, it's eating with more precision. That's the second correction. At this age, protecting muscle matters just as much as managing body weight. Point 3, the longevity science angle. Why strength, not weight loss, is the real marker. Here's the unifying insight behind both corrections. Longevity researchers have increasingly looked beyond body weight as the primary health marker for aging populations, focusing instead on measures such as grip strength, muscle mass, physical performance, and functional capacity. Studies tracking older adults over time have found that strength and physical function are strongly associated with long-term health outcomes. Why? Because muscle isn't just for movement. It's metabolically active tissue. It helps regulate blood sugar. It contributes to physical resilience, supports joints and movement, and it provides physiological reserve, something the body can draw on during illness, injury, recovery, or simply the demands of daily life. A man who is lean but weak has a different physical risk profile than a man who is strong, even if the second man weighs more. This is the core reframe. Past 50, the goal isn't simply to look smaller. It's to stay strong, stay capable, and protect the tissue that helps keep your metabolism working for you. Point 4, applying the correction. What the 5 exercises are actually doing. With that framing, the 5 exercises in this routine aren't arbitrary. They're chosen because they load major muscle groups, legs, back, chest, and core, in ways that can help counter age-related muscle loss while remaining practical enough to perform consistently. Consistency matters more here than intensity. Research on resistance training in older adults points to progressive loading, adequate recovery, and consistency as important drivers of results, not maximal effort every session. This is a briefing, not a boot camp. The exercises should be challenging enough to provide a meaningful training stimulus, but structured so you can recover and continue training consistently. That daily repetition is doing something calorie counting alone never could. It's reminding your body that this muscle is still needed. Point 5. The standard restated. Let's be precise about what's actually changing here, because the two corrections work together, not separately. Common advice often treats cardio and calorie restriction as the default path to health at any age. The researched reality is that after 50, resistance training and adequate protein intake become especially important because they directly address two biological challenges associated with aging: muscle loss and reduced efficiency in using dietary protein. This isn't a rejection of older advice. It's an update based on what research tells us about this specific stage of life. So here's the recap. Past 50, cardio and calorie cutting alone aren't enough. Resistance training and adequate protein intake are key tools for protecting muscle, supporting metabolic health, and maintaining physical capacity. Strength, not simply the number on the scale, is a crucial marker of long-term health at this stage. Apply that shift, and the 5 exercises in this routine have a clear purpose: protect muscle, build strength, support movement, and help you stay capable as you age. If this gave you something useful, subscribe to Prime Span After 50 and turn on the notification bell for another research-backed video on longevity science, vitality, and healthy living. I'll see you there.